Oh, what's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with a brand new vid. Trying to be a little quiet because, the girl, she's sleeping. We got works tomorrow. But I wanted to do this this whole review of this sweet little camera I got here. Check this thing out. This is the Crosstour 4K. Look at the thing that freaking fits in my hand. Like, how nice is that? Yeah. So I got this camera because I'm doing a good job at my new job, and I was supposed to put in the referrals. I put in the referrals. I get a prize. So it just so happens that that I like to make videos and things like that. Otherwise this prize probably would have sucked. But it kind of just worked out in my favor. So what's sweet about this thing, not only is it the size, but it shoots in 4K. So 4K is where we're going. I know that this live stream right now is in 1080p, but yeah, the thing isn't bad. So what I wanted to do with this thing is I wanted to compare it to my little GoPro here. So if we take just a look at the sizes in themselves, well, I would say that the GoPro is definitely a lot heavier. And the GoPro is clearly the standard when it comes to these little action cameras. My buddy last night told me the story about how GoPro wanted to be called Wave Pro because the guy that invented it was a huge surfer. So he basically just wanted to focus on surfing, and it's a good thing that he changed it to GoPro because just like any other like brand that is kind of the name, like a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola, are the whole cola, even though there's a bunch of different colas out there, they are the brand recognition. So this is the standard bearer, right? When you're like me and you think about professional wrestling, you think about WWE. They are the standard bearer. Yeah, there was WCW and whatnot, but when we think about it today, there's WCW, there's the GoPro. So I wanted to do a little bit of comparison between the two. Now, this is clearly heavier than this one that I'm holding in my hand. I would say about, I don't know, a half a pound or something like that. But this thing on its own is waterproof. So that's really big on this. This thing does have to have this casing that it's really simple to put it in. You basically just put it in like that. And it has this clamp, and now it's waterproof. Bam, done. But what's nice about this that this doesn't do is this thing, there are controls on it. You do have to get kind of familiar with it between turning it on this back button here and then going and then choosing what you're looking to do with it. If you're trying to do like photo bursts, if you're trying to record and stuff like that, and then this will actually record it. But there's no viewfinder on here. You know what I mean? Now this one here, even in the casing, is really simple to operate. So to turn this one on, you would just hit the front button, and then it does have a viewfinder. It does have a really nice way of being able to see everything that you're doing. And then as far as scrolling to the menus, it's not as complicated as only having this little LCD screen that's right here. This one, everything is going to be right on the back. So going through the different settings and everything like that is very simple on this one. The other thing that this one doesn't do is shooting it in 4K. Now, shooting in 4K, it's definitely and this is just from my experience of what I'm about to show you. Shooting in 4K is a very memory grabbing experience. Now, I purchased a new Samsung memory card, micro SD card that was 32 gigs. It writes up to 90 megabytes a second, but the video I'm about to show you, you're gonna see it was only a minute long, and that thing was almost after I rendered it and everything, and the rendering takes forever. I would say I think the rendering for this minute long video was in 4K, which I will upload after we're done with the video too. That way you can actually watch it in pure 4K, not in this 1080. The actual video itself for the minute took 15 minutes for it to render. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. So if you're actually doing something lengthy, like a half an hour sort of video, then it's definitely pretty costly. Now, this is the comparison that I wanted to show you guys, where I took the Crosstour and I shot that in 4K, and I also compared it to the GoPro, which only was able to go up to 1080 at 60 frames a second. The Crosstour goes at 25 frames a second at the 4K. So this is the comparison of that, and let's take a look. It's just me goofing around in my kitchen. Oh, before I start, the audio for this for some reason didn't go into my editing software for the 4K. So the audio on here comes from the GoPro, which is at 1080p at 60 frames a second. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh, can you hear me? 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 Some beans. So as you could see, the depth of field was definitely crazier, in the sense of where with the GoPro, it totally looked like it was 10 times farther away, when they literally were exactly the same distance apart, or they were right next to each other is what I'm trying to say. And also, the leveling was the same too, because I could probably just do it with my hand here, where if you see where the two lenses are, they're pretty identical. So there was that. Now, obviously, the 4K definitely brings up the lighting, makes it seem like it's a ton brighter than the GoPro did. I also do think that maybe the top of the glass screen here was a little bit dirty on the GoPro. So but at the same time, there was still a lot more glare, even if there was any sort of smudge or anything that was on the glass for the lens. And to kind of do a control of the experiment and everything like that, because I thought it looked really great. To do a control, I did also do a comparison of both of them at 1080, 60 frames per second, and let's take a look. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean it. I really just don't know. Sorry about the delay from getting back into this, but I also wanted to let you know that that time, the audio that you saw right there, that came the from the Crosstour camera itself. So they both sounded really great. I mean, one of them, I would say the first one, the GoPro, it did seem like they either put a distortion or a filter on it, maybe to protect the actual unit itself. But yeah, now for me personally, there's one thing that really separates the two cameras. Now, as you can tell, I by liking and subscribing to my channel, I love to do a lot of live streams. I love doing my podcast. I love making videos and things like that. And when I first started doing this, I really was looking at a way to where I could use my GoPro in a live streaming sort of capacity, and I was really disappointed where I wasn't able to hook up this to do actual live streaming. I use OBS Studio to do any sort of thing that I'm doing, like I'm on OBS right now, and I want to be able to do that. However, with the Crosstour, one of its functionalities here is being able to have it act as a webcam just by connecting it through the micro USB cable that comes with it right into the port. So I just wanted to show you guys how nice and how fluid this is. So look at that. Here we go. It's working. It's great. I feel like right now there is a little bit of a delay that's going through, but that's also because I have like 7 things hooked up to my USB 3.0 port. But honestly, it's really not that bad. Now, when you like and subscribe to my page, this Saturday I am actually having a video game tournament being live streamed from Heroes Hideout in Rensselaer, New York. But I will be using this as one of the different shots that I would be transitioning in and out from. So it's really awesome that I can actually have this functionality with this camera. Besides that, I really think the only thing that I haven't touched on yet was how it came in the box. Now, for me, this was the best part. Now, with my GoPro, I did get a base here. I got an extra base. I did also receive some more of the clips and a lot of the sticky adhesives and things like that. They only really gave you a couple of them. Now, as far as the Crosstour, when I got this box, it was right here. The camera was on top, and I opened it up, and I was amazed by how much stuff they actually gave you. Oh, I'm sorry, there's more stuff that's in here. So they gave you a bunch of different stuff to work with, and besides that, they gave you a freaking remote control and I tried it before, and it works. So you literally can have this on your wrist like it's a watch, and then if you want to take a picture of it, bam. If you want to start recording the video, you can, and you just get on doing what you're doing, jumping out of airplanes and stuff like that. So honestly, I was really impressed by what came with this, and especially at the price point, because I think right now it's around $60. So definitely click the link below if you're interested in getting this. Now, if you're faithful, if you are really interested in this GoPro, because it's not a bad camera at all, for the price point, for the brand recognition and everything like that, and this thing's freaking sturdy too. I mean, in this case, for the actual camera itself, it was recording these buttons. So listen to how these buttons are. It's pretty loud, and that little camera has a little microphone in it. that's gonna pick all that up, very similar to a lavalier mic. So with that being said, this camera, it's not a bad camera at all, but for the $120 on Amazon Prime compared to the $60 on Amazon Prime that the Crosstour is, that's up to you. I mean, I'm happy with both of the different cameras that I have. They both work for with what I do, but for what I'm doing now, the Crosstour definitely seems to be on the winning boat. If you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the products, I left links for you down below that we could go to them. Thank you so much, and have a great day. What's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with the brand new vid.
Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me.
Galileo. Now they have this new feature. Now I'm gonna pull up my phone here. That way you can start to see it. So here we are on my phone. I'm gonna open up Snapchat here. Oh. I'm gonna open up Snapchat, and it's really my phone. It's really Snapchat. Here I am. How long are they under like a rookie contract for?
I think it's three to 4 years, and the A's are like a lower salary team, and Boston is like top 5 in the league with like the highest salary.
Like when someone's eating something that tastes terribly and they want you to try it.
Yeah. Tell us more about the actual vlog, Rose Colored Love. I'll pull it up right now for you as well. That way you can start telling us more about it. It's harder when you have a girlfriend. She doesn't really want you to play as much. But all right, so Johnny, same question to you. What was your first video game and how old were you?
Ethan from Ithaca.
Ethan from Ithaca, how are you?
Doing great. I have a question for him. I'm a huge fan of Lauren.
And his parents didn't give a shit about him. I felt really bad. So, you know, they took me to the bathroom and I showed him a good time.
What? Wait, but how old was he?
Tell me I'm the best. Jump. Jump. I throw my hands up when I jump. Jump.
Actual camera itself, it was recording these buttons. So listen to how these buttons are. It's pretty loud, and that little camera has a little microphone in it that's gonna pick all that up, very similar to a lavalier mic. So with that being said, this camera, it's not a bad camera at all, but for the $120 on Amazon Prime compared to the $60 on Amazon Prime that the Crosstour is, that's up to you. I mean, I'm happy with both of the different cameras that I have. They both work for with what I do, but for what I'm doing now, the Crosstour definitely seems to be on the winning boat. If you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the products, I left links for you down below that we could go to them. Thank you so much, and have a great day. What's up, guys? Tim Zabriskie here, back at it again with the brand new vid.
Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo.
Now they have this new feature. Now I'm gonna pull up my phone here. That way you can start to see it. So here we are on my phone. I'm gonna open up Snapchat here. Oh. I'm gonna open up Snapchat, and it's really my phone. It's really Snapchat. Here I am. How long are they under like a rookie contract for?
I think it's 3 to 4 years, and the A's are like a lower salary team, and Boston is like top 5 in the league with like the highest salary.
Like when someone's eating something that tastes terribly and they want you to try it.
Yeah. Tell us more about the actual vlog, Rose Colored Love. I'll pull it up right now for you as well. That way you can start telling us more about it. It's harder when you have a girlfriend. She doesn't really want you to play as much. But, all right, so Johnny, same question to you. What was your first video game and how old were you?
This is Ethan from Ithaca.
Ethan from Ithaca. How are you?
Doing great. I have a question for I'm a huge fan of Lauren.
And his parents didn't give a shit about him. I felt really sad. So, you know, I took him to the bathroom and I showed him a good time.